Four men decided that it was necessary to climb a mountain in order to escape the valley they had been living in their whole lives, where, despite all of their best efforts, they were not able to find the contentment, the happiness that they sensed should be theirs. In the ensuing climb, they reached a point on the mountain where there was a sheer cliff, a sheer rock wall in front of them with an impossibly difficult texture. You couldn't put a baton, one of those little clips, you couldn't drive anything into the wall. It was so hard. And they couldn't see anything above them because there was a cloud of fog. It seemed as though all was lost, that there was no way out. Three of the four men were very upset and fell into a kind of despair. But the fourth man, who caught their attention because he didn't seem to be at all concerned with their condition, was finally asked, "Look, what's with you? Why are you not unhappy? Why are you not worried about our situation?" And with that, the fourth man reached in his backpack and pulled out a rope and a grappling hook. He tied the grappling hook to the rope and throwing it or whirling it around and around, threw it way up into the air, into that dense fog, where apparently it caught upon something. And when he pulled on the rope, lo and behold, it was taut enough that the men could make the next leg of the climb. In your spiritual work, there will be so many times where you reach this impasse, where you stand before what seems to be a sheer cliff, a hard rock wall, beyond which there seems to be no hope of getting above it. The important thing to understand is that when certain parts of us meet moments in which those parts of themselves cannot see any hope for themselves of continuing, the only thing these parts of us know to do is to fall into some kind of depression or despair. They begin to resist the condition, and the wall in the story represents this moment where our resistance overwhelms our understanding that there is always something above us, but that in real spiritual work, most of the times what is above us, we can't reach using habitual thought with the old tools that we started the climb with. And the point of this story and the rope and the grappling hook is that one must remember what it is that one wants. One starts out on this journey seeking a higher life, understanding that in the pursuit of the promise of that one must meet these moments where whatever it is that began the journey within us reaches the point it can't go farther. So our attitude in the moment where we seem to be blocked, that's what we must rely upon. A proper spiritual attitude. And in this little story, what we're talking about is going ahead and realizing that even though we don't feel like it's possible to go on, we can remember the part of us that brought us this far, and if you will, throw it into the air. Assume the proper attitude, which is to refuse to accept the negative attitude born of resisting our condition. And if we stay there long enough with the right attitude, there's an old adage that if you start to feel depressed, don't let your head sink down to the ground. You hold your head up. You keep your chin up. And what you do physically will send a message to the rest of your body. And your heart and mind will follow the direction that your head has taken. And it's the same thing spiritually. It is a spiritual analogy. You remember the proper attitude will give you the new altitude that you need for the next leg of the journey upward and home.